What? A truck without a trailer hitch? That's a sin. Today, we're going to make a custom trailer hitch because I don't even think you can buy them for this. And I'm going to show you some other trailer hitches I've made over the years for cars and front hitches for trucks and stuff like that. Just to kind of give you an overview, but quick and easy. Just make a trailer hitch so you can tow trailers. So we'll crawl under here. This is actually a unibody. So there's really no frame, but there still is. Even on unibody cars, there's still kind of a frame and there's always tow points, and that's usually what you mount a hitch to. So we got these nice tow points back here. You can see the kind of a frame rail that runs up, but these are nice and stout, so we can attach one to here, and there's one directly on the other side, and we can just hang a receiver tube right below here. So I have a receiver tube. This is actually an adapter. New trucks actually come with a 2.5 inch, and then this reduces them down to 2 inch. But this is the exact same thing. You can get these dirt cheap or find them on the side of the road like I do. So this is going to be our receiver tube. And then under there, we got some 1/4 inch 3x3 angle iron, which isn't the best because it will have twist force, but we can reinforce it with some gussets in here and make it kind of into a triangle so it doesn't have very much twist force. But that's about it. This is going to be a super simple one. We can just essentially cut this to length. We might have to trim this down a little bit up here. Slide it up in there and just weld this to the bottom. So usually I would just take one of these and you just kind of cut it up and adjust these brackets and stuff like that and then make it fit. So these little notches you'll see. Let me crawl under there. It's just that distance right there. So essentially just hugs that. And that's it. Then we just got to drill some holes and bolt that on, and it's flush with the bottom, and then we can just weld the receiver tube right there to the bottom of there. Easy enough. Now I want to probably put a bolt in each side. I mean, if I put a bolt down here, it's just under, I guess, tension, and if I put a bolt in here, it's under shear. And I guess I'd rather have one on both. So we'll see about putting one up here and then one down here. So we freehanded some little washer back plates. And so you can kind of push them in here. You see there's a plate on there. I can kind of grab the end of it and fish it in from the end. We'll just weld the head, just barely tack weld it to these plates. We'll have a bolt coming through here and then just one right there. Freehanded the pieces for the washers, but they never look good. So we use the mag drill and the annular cutters because these are fast and hurry and just cut some holes in that piece of plate. Let's adjust it. There's a little spring-loaded pilot pin. You see? Then we just flip it on. Coke bottle, just magnets in it. Take it over the garbage, shake it. Or I had a guy send me this a couple years ago, Steve in Texas. There's a magnet in the bottom that's hooked to this, and got the same thing. And then you hold it over the garbage. Looks like a bird feeder, but I use both of them. They work good. Now I'm just welding the head, just a little flange, a couple little spot welds to the bolt, because these are kind of blind holes. Makes life easier. So take one bolt, put that in, take the other bolt, put that in. You can hold them and maneuver them. Okay, you're in my face. It can't work where you're right in my face. You got a ball? Okay, let's go. Let's see what we got with the ball. Okay, left-handed. I can't even throw it. There we go. There we go. We're happy. All right, got that bolted in. On the bottom, there's a spare tire. Those are speed grooves on the tire. Don't look at those. Anyway, this will dismount right here. The license plate hangs down about 1 inch. It'll cover it a little bit, but I don't want this hanging down. I want this as high as possible. So we're gonna put it up there, and then I'll either hinge the license plate, just put little hinges or something up here so it just kind of folds up. Yeah, that's backwards. So let's cut that off and try again. It's supposed to be facing the other way. So this needs to be like this. I put a couple gussets on there, but that is attached. We took the scraps that we cut out of those corners and triangulated, but also made our chain hooks. They're about a 1/2 inch wide, 1/4 inch thick. They'll be fine. There we go. Perfectly square, level, true, because I did it on my professional concrete welding table. But you can see that gusset we have in there now. You see the chain hooks. So it's ready. We'll just throw a lick of paint on it and it'll be done. I mean, you're gonna get flex, but a little flex is okay. So that's gonna flex down. This truck is never gonna tow a heavy trailer, you know. Maybe 3,500 pound trailer max, loaded, you know. So, but you'd only tow like 2,000 pounds or something with this, 2,500 pounds. Anyway, so if that flexes a little bit out there, I'm not too worried. It's just gonna act kind of like a spring in there, which isn't bad. I mean, we're only bolting it to, you know, the tow hooks on this they're barely thicker than a 1/16th, you know, a little thicker than a 1/16th gauge steel. The whole frame of the truck is sheet metal. So that'll suffice. It'll be heavier duty than anything the truck could ever handle. It'll be stronger than the truck, I guess, right? Best time to spray paint was when it's still, when it's so hot that it cooks the spray paint on instantly. Let's bring those home. Let that dry. I'll show you some of the other hitches I made. I made this hitch right there. You can't really see it. I wanted a hidden hitch, so I built a bumper that recesses into the hitch. So you'd have to take off the bumper to hook on the hitch. I didn't want to hang it down. I thought it looked ugly. I think I modified this one from a Jeep, like an 86 Jeep Cherokee. So I modified that hitch. So it goes up, bolts right on the frame, and then these two supports just support it down the frame. That slides in, locks in, and you have a little bit of a bumper that I made with lights that plug into the trailer lights. Yes, this is a car, and I wanted a hitch for it, so that is a full-size hitch that I mounted to this. This one, you can see that where I cut off the things. I had to actually put an entire plate. The bumper has like 4 bolts right here and 4 bolts right here where a mounting thing is, and so I put a 1/4 inch plate across almost the whole back, and then welded that, or mounted that, and then that comes down and welds the underside of this hitch. You can see that the plate all the way up in there, notched, and that welds to the back of it. And then there was just a little bit of spring to it, so I welded this, and then I bolted it all the way under the gas tank to the rear axle. It's just bolted because you don't want it welded back there. So let's see if you guys can see. See? And this car, this little 4-cylinder car, actually tows amazing. I have saved so much money in gas towing with this thing. This is a front hitch. If you've never used a front hitch, it is amazing. And this is just one I modified from some other truck, I think at the wrecking yard. I just cut off the brackets and they just bolt up to the frame. I mean, this isn't even really a towing hitch. This is just, you know, it's amazing to back a trailer in with that. And then the rear one, this one, I think I just drilled new holes. This was for Ford and I just put this on a Ford, so not a big deal. But you can see how far in it sits. I modified it so I could put it way further in so I had better departure angle, because I take this down to Moab, take this truck down there and wheel with it, and if you have a hitch, if I had a hitch sticking out to here, it would just drag on everything. So it's pushed in almost 8 inches from the rear bumper, maybe even close to a foot where it would normally be. So all I did was take some old hinges, I welded a bolt to one side and made it flush, and then just screws into the original little mounting hole, and then it can hinge up just a little bit so you can put the hitch in and just always fall down. So essentially we just have a piece of angle iron like that, and I knew there'd be twist to it, but there's a little bit more twist than I like to it. I don't like that. Easily remedied. All we have to do is guss it all the way up, just put a flat plate across here. We got some 1/8 inch steel here, which should suffice. It will suffice. And that will just go across there and guss it all up. Let's see if I can explain this. When this pulls down, it's actually going to pull on this upper corner. So it'll pull all the way across the top when that pulls down, and it won't allow it to. It'll make it way more rigid. And when it goes up and it pushes up, it pushes this one back, and that pulls on this corner. So it triangulates itself naturally. I had to bust back out the spray booth, and nice and warm still. Favorite things I've ever done in my garage is the lights on the underside. See how dark it is out here? I got a light on the bumper, but watch this. I've been working outside. It'll kick on when I, boom. Those lights, you can watch that video, but it lights up the entire area out here so I can work. That's what I wanted. So I got it wired up, just a standard 4 flat for trailer lights. So I put that hitch on just to go pick up this trailer. It was about 7 hours for me round trip. But then the very next day, so I put it on, and the very next day after I did the hitch, the guy called me and he said, "Hey, I'm actually heading towards you." So he delivered it, but he brought it to me. Go ahead, you can get out. Come on. Actually tows great, like I thought it would. I mean, you would never tow this trailer with anything loaded. Altogether, this is about 2,500 pounds, just empty. And that's all you probably want to tow with that. You know, I've towed 2,500 pounds with 2,500 pound vehicles many a times, and they tow just fine. And this, I mean, that's about max you want to do with it. I mean, that's essentially a car, but 2,500 pounds. So I mean, you take a single axle that weighs under 1,000, throw 1,500 pounds on there, and you're loaded out, because 2,500 pounds means you need 250 pounds on the tongue, and that's all you want to put on the tongue of those. They brake just fine. They stop, they accelerate, you know, roughly. But once you're up to speed and stuff, I mean, I could push 2,500 pounds this trailer by hand. I mean, 50 horsepower is all that has. 50 horsepower can do it easier than I can do it by hand. But I need to go through this trailer, so that might be a video too. I need to replace the deck. I think some of the beams are bent. Just go over what I do to a trailer. You missed. Okay, come on, let's go. Load up. Load up. No, we're not. We're done. Get it and load up. Sorry. Time to go home.